you, Nishant. Cool. Thank you, Amar. Okay, so in our today's life, we are going to get started with the types of network. Before we talk about types of network, let me ask you that what do you know about the different types of blockchain chain networks? Do you know anything about the blockchain types, or like you are just getting started with this blockchain stuff for the first time? So if you know about the types of blockchain, do mention in the chat. If you don't know, so we'll talk about it. Okay, getting started. Great, cool. So let me talk about the types of blockchain ecosystem. So we have three types of blockchain ecosystems. We call them as a permissioned or private blockchain. Then we have permissionless or public blockchain, and then we have third type of blockchain that is known as the hybrid blockchain. So we have three types of blockchain network concept that we have. One is the private permissioned blockchain, second is the permissionless blockchain, and third we have hybrid blockchain. Okay, permission blockchain is also known as the private blockchain. Permissionless blockchain is also known as the public blockchain, and hybrid blockchain is a mix of both, which is a mix of hybrid private and public blockchain. Now, as you know about the blockchain concept, okay, so blockchain is a technology that is used to store the data in a decentralized manner. That is what the blockchain technology is all about. Okay, now you can use this database for different use cases. Okay, let's say you are running a company. Okay, in that company you want to hide certain data for certain people, or you want to give permission of data, of editing or changing the data in the ecosystem to certain people. In that case, what you need a blockchain that give you the permissions on the certain levels. Okay, so let's say you are working for a company. Okay, if you are working for a company, in that case you cannot showcase all the data to the public. Okay, you need certain things that need to be hidden. Let's if I give you an example. Okay, let's talk about banks. Okay, in banks you can't showcase all the transactions that are happening inside the bank to everyone. Okay, you don't want to showcase all the data, but what banks want, bank also want that they should have something to store their data. Okay, or they want to communicate with other banks. Okay, let's say there are group of 30 banks. Okay, and those 30 banks want to connect with one another, but they don't want to showcase this data to everyone who are using the blockchain. So in that case, what they need a private blockchain, means which is only have a which has certain limitation, which means people who have the authorization to see the data, they can see the data. Okay, that's why we need a private blockchain. So in simple language, private blockchain are those blockchain where we can give permission to certain people to perform certain tasks in the ecosystem. Okay, so this is what the permission this is what is known as a private blockchain or permission blockchain, where you can give permission to different levels. Okay, so most of the big private companies, what they are using the permission blockchain to store the data or to share the information inside the company. Okay, so this is what permission blockchain is all about. If you are able to understand it, just type yes, so that we can move to the next type of the blockchain. If you understand the permission blockchain concept, just type yes. Okay, got it. Great. Now let's talk about the second type of blockchain, that is a public blockchain. So whatever blockchain you see, let's say whatever you see Bitcoin, you see Ethereum, you see Tezos, you see Cosmos, you see Tron. So you see different types of blockchain that are there in the market. Okay, all these blockchain are the permissionless blockchain, where you don't need permissions from somebody to perform certain task in the ecosystem. Let's say you want to do a transaction. So okay, let's say I want to send some money to Vivan, or I want to send some money to Misika. Okay, in that case I don't need the permissions from anybody. Okay, because it is a permissionless blockchain where there is no gatekeeper. Okay, so which means whatever transactions that are happening are not hidden, which means anyone who is the part of the ecosystem can see who is doing the transaction to whom, which means every data that is written inside the blockchain can be seen by everybody who's the part of the ecosystem, which means the permissionless blockchain does not need a gatekeeper. in simple language, the blockchain need a gatekeeper to secure the data, but in permissionless blockchain we don't need any gatekeeper for securing the data, which means anybody who is the part of the ecosystem can see what is happening inside the ecosystem. Okay, it can be like in simple language, what we can say, let's say there is a company called X. Okay, X company, they want to raise fund from the company, from the investors. So what they can do, there are two ways they can raise the fund. First, they can sell the equity of the company and they can raise the fund. Second way, they can release their INO and they can raise the fund. Okay, if they are giving the stake in the company, okay, in that case they will not showcase all the data of the company to the people. Okay, so what they will do, they will create a private blockchain. Okay, they will create the private blockchain. But if they are going to do an INO, okay, if they want to release a token, in that case they will release it on a public blockchain so that everyone who is the part of the ecosystem can see what is happening inside the ecosystem. Let's say if I want to uh, if I am coming with a new launch, let's say if I'm coming with a new product update, okay, in that case there are two ways by which I can come up with a product update. If it is a public company, in that case I will ask for the approval for everyone who is a part of the company. Okay, which means if I am coming with an update, I will ask people to vote for it, and if I get a certain voting percentage, based on that I will do that update. Okay, but what will happen if it is a private company? We can't vote for the things that are going to happen inside the company. Okay, which means the company stakeholders will have the authority to do the changes in the ecosystem. That's why we need different blockchain for different use cases. Okay, that's why we have two different types of blockchain to perform certain task. Okay, so let me know if you are able to understand permission and permissionless blockchain or not. Just type yes if you are able to understand it. Okay, okay, thank you. Let's talk about the third type of blockchain, that is hybrid blockchain. Okay, after we have we have private blockchain, we have public blockchain, then what is the use of hybrid blockchain? Okay, so after like recently there is a new type of blockchain that got introduced in the market known as the hybrid blockchain. Now, what is hybrid blockchain? Hybrid blockchain is a mix of both, of private and public. Now, why we need a hybrid blockchain? We need a hybrid blockchain for a company in which we want to showcase certain data to the public, but we don't want to showcase all the data to the public. In that case, the hybrid blockchain will solve your problem. Okay, let's say if we again take the same example of the banks. Okay, let's say there is a bank called ABC. Okay, now this bank want to showcase certain data to the public. Okay, so to the data which they want to showcase to the public, they will add all those data on a public blockchain. Okay, they will add those on the public blockchain. Okay, they will add that particular data on the public blockchain so that everyone can see what is happening inside the bank, but they don't want to showcase all the data. So in that case, whatever data they don't want to showcase to everyone, they can store in a private blockchain. Okay, so hybrid blockchain will solve the problem of building two different blockchain ecosystem for the banks. Instead of they can create only one hybrid blockchain which will serve the purpose of the banks. Instead of building two different ecosystem, one permissionless, one permission blockchain, we can only use one blockchain that will solve the problem of ours, which means we can use public blockchain to showcase all the data which I want to showcase to the public. We can use a private blockchain to share the information between the company, or if you want to distribute the information with the stakeholders or certain promoters of the company or certain partners of the company. In that case, we need a private blockchain to showcase all the data, and that is why hybrid blockchain is here. Okay, if we talk about the definition, okay, if we talk about the definition, okay, here it is written that in a permissionless blockchain, the consensus allow all nodes to have equal rights such as data access, creating transaction, validating transaction, and producing new blocks. That is what we talked about. So in permissionless blockchain, everyone who is the part of the ecosystem will have the access to the data. Also, they can create the new transactions, they can validate the transaction, and they can produce a new blocks, which means in permissionless blockchain we don't need any gatekeeper. Okay, gatekeeper means anyone who will give permission to the particular transaction to happen or not. Okay, But in a permission blockchain, the consensus does not allow all node, which means we have a limited number of people to validate the transaction or to access the data or to create a new transactions or to produce a new block, which means only limited number of people will have the access. Okay, for example, a permission chain might select a few node to produce new blocks. Okay, which means they will select, let's say, they will ask Misika, or they will ask Rajit, or they will ask Vivan, you need to perform this task. Okay, and then they will ask Amar, and they will ask VC to perform certain other tasks, which means certain tasks will be given to Vivan, Rajit, and Misika. Certain tasks will be given to Nishant, VC, and other people. Okay, so this is means like you will have the certain access, the other will have the certain access, and they will showcase certain data to this category and certain data to this category, which means you will have in simple example, if we talk about structure of a company. Okay, in company we have different departments. If you talk about any company, let's say if you work for a company, they have different departments: HR department, finance department, then we have marketing department, then we have developer department. So every department will be segregated and every department will be given the access to particular data that they can access, and they can create the node for that particular things, which means every department will have the access to particular data only. This is how permission blockchain work. Now if we talk about the third type, that is the hybrid blockchain. In hybrid blockchain, every transaction can happen quickly in its own private chain and commit only to the public chain and when necessary, which means if it is necessary to showcase that data to public blockchain, in that case they will showcase that data to public. If it is not required, they will keep the data in a private chain. So this will solve the problem of building two different databases. It will only require one database that will solve the problem of like there is all both the problem, which means you don't need two different chains to share the data. You can only use one chain, and that can help you in building two different ecosystem, one for public, one for private. Okay, that is what hybrid blockchain is all about. Okay, if you want to get in more detail about it, this is the link of the blog. You can read this blog and it will give you fair idea about the blockchain types. Okay, so let me know if you're able to understand the blockchain types. If you're able to understand, just type yes, and then we'll move to the the second topic, that is blockchain trilemma, and then we'll close this today's live stream. Okay, so first let me know if you're able to understand the, if you have any confusion, just do let me know. I will try to answer those doubts for you. Okay. Okay, clear. Thank you for responding. Okay, let's move to the second part, that is called blockchain trilemma. Okay, so blockchain trilemma concept is very much important. Okay, because the blockchain is designed in such a way to solve the three problems. Private and hybrid blockchain का कोई major difference समझ नहीं आया. Private. So private blockchain are used only for the private companies. Okay, so in private blockchain you cannot showcase all the data to the public. Okay, but in hybrid blockchain, what you can do, you can showcase certain data to public, but you can showcase, and then you can keep certain data for the private people. Okay, which means in hybrid blockchain will have two types of data access, one for public, second for private. But in private blockchain only you have one type of data access, that is private only, which means you cannot showcase that data to everybody. Okay, which means only private people can see that particular data, which means public will not have the access to the data. But in hybrid blockchain you have that access, which means you can also see the public, that you can also give certain data access to for the public, but however that is not possible in the private blockchain. Okay. Hope Rajat, let me know if you're able to understand it. If you have any doubt, got it. Okay, cool. Let's talk about something called blockchain trilemma. Okay, now what is blockchain trilemma? Okay, so this concept is this whole idea of blockchain trilemma is given by Vitalik. So he talked about three things: that fast, secure, and scalable network. Okay, so if you want to build a blockchain ecosystem, you want that blockchain ecosystem should be fast. Second, it should be scalable, and it should be uh, which means and also it give you better security. And Vitalik said that we cannot achieve all these three things in one blockchain, which means you can't. If you build a blockchain that is fast, so in that case there will be one loophole that will be left. Either it can't be scalable, or there will be less security. Okay, which means there will always be a blockchain trilemma, which means if you are building an ecosystem, either it will be a fast or scalable ecosystem, or it can be fast and secure ecosystem, or it can be secure and scalable system, which means you can't achieve all these three things in one blockchain ecosystem. Okay, that is what blockchain trilemma is all about, which means you can't build a ecosystem which is fast, secure and scalable. Okay, that is the major problem that we face in building the blockchain ecosystem. Okay, if you talk about Ethereum, the first version of Ethereum that we have, okay, that is the first version. If you talk about the first version of Ethereum, the first version of Ethereum is scalable and secure, but it is not fast, because Ethereum can only process 15 transactions per second. Okay, which means it is fast, but it is not that much secure. Okay, like it is not that much fast because it is secure and scalable, but it is not fast. Okay, so which means Ethereum is not able to achieve that financial trilemma. Okay, to solve this financial trilemma problem, Ethereum is coming up with second version of Ethereum 2.0, which is fast, secure and scalable. Okay, to solve this problem, Ethereum is going to come up with a new solution where they are going to build a better consensus mechanism, which means they are shifting from proof of work consensus mechanism to proof of stake consensus mechanism. Now what these consensus mechanism are, we'll talk about it in upcoming sessions. Okay, so don't worry about it, we'll talk about consensus mechanism as well. Just get an idea. If you want to solve the blockchain trilemma, you need to switch the consensus mechanism. You need to move from proof of work consensus mechanism to proof of stake consensus mechanism. Okay, the proof of stake consensus mechanism is fast, and it is better than proof of work, because proof of work consensus mechanism need more power. It needs it cannot process multiple transactions per second, which means it is not fast enough. Okay, so which means if you want to solve the blockchain trilemma, you need to switch from proof of work to proof of stake consensus mechanism. That is a one possible way. Secondly, you can also do something called salting. So there is one concept that is known as salting concept. Okay, so when we read about Ethereum 2.0, we'll try to figure out all these factors, salting and all these things. But if I give you an overview of the salting, so salting is a concept that is used to build a fast ecosystem, which means instead of you verifying one transaction once per second, you can solve you can verify multiple transactions in that particular second, which means like what happens in the blockchain ecosystem, you send one transaction, that one transaction need to be verified, then it can be added in the blockchain. But in salting, what will happen, you can process multiple transaction in 1 second, which means instead of validating one transaction, you can validate 10,000 transactions per second. Okay, that is the concept of salting, where you can send data in parallelly. Instead of sending data in series, you can send them in parallel way. So that is the concept of salting, where you can verify the data parallelly. Okay, that is the salting concept, so which makes the ecosystem fast and secure. Okay, that is what the layer one solution is all about. Okay, so if you want to scale any layer one solution, you need to implement these two types of concept to solve the blockchain trilemma. Okay, which means you build a ecosystem that is fast, secure and scalable. Okay, then if you want to solve the layer, then there is a certain thing that can be done on the layer 2. Okay, so when you move to layer 2, there is something called, you can build ecosystem called nested blockchain. So you can build nested blockchain. So okay, if you talk about Polygon. Okay, Polygon is a layer 3 solution. Okay, in Polygon we have something called sidechain concept. That is sidechain concept that we have in Polygon. We'll talk about it in detail when we move to layer, when we talk about layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 solutions. We'll talk about there, but just get to know a fair idea that Polygon, what Polygon is doing, that Polygon has a functionality where they can verify multiple transactions in 1 second. So what they do, instead of verifying one transaction per second, they create bundle of 10,000, like bundle of multiple transactions. Okay, they create a bundle of let's say there are 10,000 transactions, they will create a bundle of 10,000 transactions, and they will verify all those 10,000 transactions in one block, which means they will create a block which will contain 10,000 transactions, and that 100,000 transactions can be processed in a second. That is why Polygon is very fast, because they don't verify one transaction, they verify multiple transactions. They create a bundle and then they verify it. That is why Polygon is more fast. Okay, so this is how the blockchain can be like evolved. Okay, so that is how things can be evolved in coming years, and that is how multiple ecosystem on working on different solutions that can build a blockchain that is fast, secure and scalable. Okay, that is what our end goal is. Okay, because if you talk about, if you compare the centralized ecosystem with decentralized ecosystem, in that case centralized ecosystem are fast, scalable and secure. Secondly, centralized ecosystem are like they can process multiple data in 1 second. But when you compare centralized with decentralized, decentralized system need more, they are most cost, they need more cost to build the ecosystems. They are not that much fast because they cannot process that much transactions. They're not that much scalable. Okay, so there are a lot of problem that we have in the decentralized ecosystems. Okay, to solve those problem, okay, we need something that can give you better ecosystem, that can give you more rewards, and that is why we need a better ecosystem. Okay, so if you have any doubt, just let me know now. And I guess we are, when you say the ecosystems, when you say ecosystems would get rewards, what is that? Ecosystems, like most of the ecosystem, they reward people for verifying the transactions. Okay, if you like this mostly happen in permissionless blockchain. Okay, so in permissionless blockchain you need like you need to verify the data, and on for verifying the data you will get like you will get the reward. Okay, so if you are into permission, if you're using a permissionless blockchain, okay, in that case if you're verifying the transactions that are happening in the permissionless blockchain, in that case you get the reward for verifying those transactions. Okay, that is what most of the permissionless blockchain offer, but it is not offered in the permission blockchain. Okay, that is a separate concept. Do we have any other doubt? Just let me know. uh, Building on blockchain, what you want for the how to start building a token of your own. See, that will be discussed. Okay, that is for that you need few details. You need to know how about the that how to build this smart contracts. Okay, so you need to know how to build the smart contracts. You need to know how Solidity and Rust things work. You need to learn these two languages to, if you want to build a token or build. Okay, if you don't know coding, I guess there is a one platform that can be used. Okay, I will let you know the name of that particular ecosystem. So there you don't need coding, you can easily build a token without coding. So there are certain platforms where you do, where you need not to code, but you can build the token out of it. So that can be a possible case. We'll talk about it. So because I see, I am not from a coding background, so I'm not going to teach you the coding stuff, but I can bring somebody who can help you in coding part. So I know somebody who will help you in the coding part, who will tell you how to build, how to code and how to build this ecosystem. So we'll bring somebody from I know some people who will help you in the coding part. Okay, mostly you will get a theoretical things from my side, theoretical investment, personal finance, or career building out of those things. That is the topic that I will cover. For most technical stuff, for coding, I will bring somebody who will help you in the coding part. Okay, so that will be done from my side. Okay, and hope you have enjoyed today's stream. So thank you for joining in, and we'll connect in next stream. Next stream will be tomorrow, I guess 1 p.m. And tomorrow we'll be talking about the features of the blockchain. So we'll talk about features of the blockchain, and then we'll move to the next part of the blockchain. After that, we'll move to the cryptography concept and the other part of the blockchains. Okay, that will be discussed. Okay. For coding thing, I need to check, because first I need to complete this basic series, then I will move to the coding part. So the coding part will come later. It will not be for next 7 weeks, there will not be any coding things. Okay, so for next 7 weeks we'll be only talking the theoretical part. So I just want you to get to know the blockchain stuff in detail. And once you are good with blockchain stuff, once you know how what is blockchain, what are different types of blockchain, how this technology is growing, then we'll move to the coding part. So we'll talk, then I will start bringing people who will give you the hands-on experience on the blockchain thing, on the trade, the blockchain development thing. Okay, so that will be discussed in the later parts, but it will not be. So if you ask me frankly, I will tell you that for next 2 to 3 weeks, I guess there will not be any coding thing. So it will take time for coding part. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining in. See you in the next stream. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you for joining in.